Nonchalant! You're pissing me off. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, hey icons. I'm gonna put my glasses on because I literally cannot see my screen. I think people probably think that I'm always glaring at them when I'm in public, but I genuinely cannot see, and I always forget my glasses. Sometimes I actually do forget them, but a lot of times I literally bring them and then I'm like, okay, but they don't go with this outfit, so I'm not gonna wear them. Anyways, I'm in my sweats today. I know, I just got new sweats. Oh my gosh. I am preparing for a modeling boot camp. Which you probably already know about because I will not stop talking about it. But I'm just getting really excited about it, and it's coming up really soon. I've just been working and getting a bag, and I'm also going on anxiety meds soon, and I'm so glad because, girl, it's getting. I didn't realize how bad it was until I really reflected on it. It affects everything, and that's become so normal to me, that for my anxiety to affect every single second of my life, that I kind of just was like, whatever, it's normal. It's not. So yeah, anyways, let's get to the actual topic, which is that you have a right to be annoying as hell. You're allowed to be annoying, okay? Because what fun is it in life if you're not annoying, okay? If you are just a nothing burger and you're so boring, okay? And people love to put you in a cage. People love to make you shrink down. People love to make you small. But that is not based on, you're actually annoying. It's based on insecurity and projections. It's based on the fact that people are threatened that you are able to express yourself authentically, and they're not. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot and working on a lot, really trying my best to fully express myself, but I have really bad social anxiety, so it's really hard for me to express myself because I think people are going to judge me, or it just feels terrifying to even talk normally to someone. It feels terrifying to even go up to someone and be like, hi, how are you? Because in my head they're gonna be like, ew, go away. So yeah, that's something that I'm working on, and something that I also, like I said, I'm going on medication, so I hope that so I'm hoping that helps, especially as women and neurodivergent people, which I am both. They're often told to shrink down, and that's why masking for neurodivergent people is a thing, because society tells you that you are too much and that you need to shut up and that you need to be put in a cage. And that's not just for neurodivergent people, but that's also why neurodivergent women mask way more, because they're women, so it's even less acceptable for them to be loud. But something that I'm thinking about a lot, like I said, and something that I'm working on, is letting myself take up space and letting myself just exist. I wrote this down recently. It's actually some things that you can do if you're a people pleaser. These are just simple things that I'm trying to change actively. Not being overly enthusiastic in text, because I think that people will be mad at me if I don't put an exclamation mark and some emojis. I have gone so long thinking that people are going to think I'm mad at them, even though, especially the way that I interact, and sometimes my humor, I can seem like I'm mad, but I'm not. So that's what I always am scared of. I don't know. Another thing is not laughing at things that aren't funny. If someone makes a joke at your expense, we're sitting in silence and you are going to feel the weight of your actions, okay? So that's another thing. Next thing is not rushing at checkout. That, oh my gosh, I have been doing that for my whole life. Rushing at checkout, There's no rush, really. You're allowed to take up that space. Speaking my mind, I've been really good at this recently, and I'm super proud of myself because if I would feel uncomfortable by something, I would just go silent because I didn't want to cause conflict and I wanted to keep the peace. But recently, I have been actually saying what's on my mind. If something bothers me, it doesn't even have to be like, you're bothering me. Like, you can just be like, hey, so it really bothered me when you did this. Can you not? It's pretty simple thing to do, and I'm working on it and getting really good at it. Well, okay, I'm getting better at it. If people are offended by your boundaries, that doesn't say anything about you. Next thing, I wrote down some ways that I can give myself proof that I'm safe to take up space and give myself permission to take up space. So, first thing is to slow down. Literally, just slow your movements down when you're in public. Linger a little bit longer in different areas. There's really no rush. Like, it's so sexy, for lack of better words, to just move slowly. Um, okay. Next thing, don't physically or mentally shrink yourself. And especially as women, you are taught to shrink yourself. And one of the biggest examples that I think of is like, say you're sitting between two men and they're manspreading and you have to cross your legs. Like, that is like the biggest example I always think of. Girl, I'm uncrossing my legs and I'm manspreading so you can move. Okay? So that's what I'm starting to do is like, if somebody is trying to like shrink me down physically, I will make myself take a space so that they know I am allowed to take a space. They're allowed to take up space too, but not in my space, okay? Ooh, I ate with that. Okay, next thing is stop apologizing when you did nothing wrong. I am so bad about this and I'm really trying to work on it. I've been trying to work on it for a long time, but it's a habit that is so embedded in me as a person that it's really hard to stop. Like, I remember one time in school, somebody hit me with a door because they kicked it open, and I apologized. So yeah, I'm really just trying to work on like thinking, am I actually sorry? Like, did I actually do anything wrong? Like, the only time you need to apologize is when you actually did something wrong. Like, like for example, if you're in someone's way and you are like moving out of the way, I'm one little small change is saying, oh, excuse me, instead of sorry. You know what I mean? And then next thing is, oh, I already said that. Okay. Next thing, I recently made a TikTok about this, but any dirty looks that you get, or being seen or called annoying, or being seen as annoying, is literally a compliment. Okay, because that just means that you're allowing yourself to express yourself. That means that you are allowing yourself to take up space. That means you're allowing yourself to be authentic in some way. So that is a compliment, not an insult. It means people are threatened by your ability to embody who you truly are. And when I get dirty looks in public, I'm like, that's how I know I'm serving. Because when I'm strutting in public and wearing my best outfits, like, people are threatened. And I literally don't care. Okay? Then the worst insult of them all is being called boring or normal. I don't want to be normal, okay? I'm not here to be normal. That sounds like a literal Facebook quote. I'm not here to be normal. I'm here to stand out. I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being. Oh, sorry about that. But anyways, you have to learn to reframe your mindset to thinking about when anybody is like, oh, who do you think you are? What are you doing? Like, they're literally projecting, okay? And you become unstoppable when you notice that and when you stop caring so much about what other people think. Because it's none of your business what they think anyways. Like, they are either thinking a lot about themselves and overanalyzing what they do, and if they're thinking about you a lot, they're a loser. They're a loser who's projecting and needs to like literally get a life. So one of my favorite quotes that I like remind myself of all the time is from the book Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I really recommend that you read that. Oh, good. It says, life is too short to water yourself down to appease people. I think about this all the time. Like, whenever I'm like feeling anxious in situations, which is every situation, I will just remind myself like nobody actually cares. Like if I make a joke that is a little unfunny, people it's not going to keep anyone up at night. It's not going to keep anyone up at night if I act a little bit crazy. It's not going to keep anybody up at okay. It's not going to keep anybody up at night if I be myself. And if it does, like that's on them, you know? So that's something that I try to remind myself of all the time. And in that process and in reminding myself of that, I also remind myself that I am not going to be perfect, and it's okay that it's going to take time for me to remember all these things. Even if I don't okay, even if I don't truly feel, okay, even if I don't, what's the word? Fully, thank you so much. Even if I don't fully feel confident, I pretend. And it always comes after that. So, like, if I feel like shrinking myself down a little bit, I have made the habit, like, for years, I've made the habit of just strutting in confidently no matter how I feel because it always makes me feel confident to do so. And it really has built up my confidence, and you just come across as more sure of yourself and more confident when you act like it. Even if you don't feel like it, eventually you do. Like, eventually confidence just follows. Here is literally the equation for life: freedom plus authenticity equals happiness. And people who care and judge you for expressing your happiness are miserable because they feel bad that they can't do it themselves. And literally, why should you care about what miserable people are thinking about you? Doesn't affect you at all. And sometimes, like, if someone does something that I would think is kind of embarrassing or whatever, I will think in my head and be like, wait, I didn't judge them and I don't really care. And even if I accidentally judge them a little bit, I'm like, they don't even know. They're not even affected by it. Oh, this is what I was just thinking. Stop with the disclaimers. I really need to work on this because a lot of times when filming my podcast episodes, I get in my head and I'm like, what if I say something that gets taken the wrong way and people don't understand my point? Or what if my point is completely I just said the same thing twice. So it's really hard for me not to be like, I didn't mean it this way, but I meant it this way. Because I over explain so much because I'm a very anxious person and I'm really scared of being misunderstood because I have been misunderstood for a lot of my life. And so I try to avoid it as much as I can. It's like a coping mechanism. So it's really hard not to over explain, and I've been working on it, and it's so hard. But, you know, something else I've been working on is accepting the fact that I can't change everything about myself that I may view as negative, because I am a constant work in progress. You are a constant work in progress, and that's okay. And you can accept that and be easy on yourself. And I am trying really hard to focus on how I speak about myself. And, I always do that, but especially recently, in certain situations, I'm extra hard on myself. So I'm trying to reframe that. Like, specifically in social situations, if it doesn't go how I thought it would go, I am usually really hard on myself, and I'm like, oh, they didn't react how you envisioned in your head because they hate you. And then I'm like, why? Like, girl, I get in my head so much. So I'm really just trying to be less hard on myself. So, yeah, next thing is say what you think unapologetically. I'm also really, like I said, I'm working on this. I'm trying to set my boundaries and I'm getting good at it. So, yeah. Next thing about like being nonchalant is a lot of people who try to be nonchalant act like they don't feel any emotion, which is not true because obviously everybody does. And speaking of emotions, you should watch my podcast episode about emotions. Feeling things is the most magical and beautiful part of life. Even if it's sadness and fear, it's still beautiful. You can find beauty in it still because you're not a robot, and feeling things is amazing. And why would you want to hide that part of yourself? Like, I, for so much of my life, have suppressed how I feel, and also that's also like a coping mechanism for me. And another thing I've been working on recently is trying to be really vulnerable and open and honest about how I feel, especially with the people close to me, because sometimes I close myself off and I'm not honest about how I feel, and then it just festers and gets worse. And so I'm really working on that as well. And it is always so refreshing to see people, especially like in the public eye, but not just in the public eye, but like in people you're close to. It's so refreshing to see them being vulnerable. So why would you not want to do that? And also, like, feeling things is the best part of being alive. And I feel things so deeply, whether it's a positive feeling or a quote unquote negative. I don't want to say negative because even like good things can always come from those bad emotions. But difficult, that's the right word, those difficult emotions. And even if it's a difficult emotion, I will let myself feel it through, let it visit me rather than just ignoring it. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I feel things in my whole sorry. I feel things in my entire body. So why would I like ignore that? I want to take those emotions and I want to transmute it into something. I want to turn any difficult emotions into something beautiful. If I feel angry or something, I want to create something out of it. Or if I feel sad, I want to create something. If I feel, like whatever, I lost my train of thought. The main thing is just like stop shrinking down how you feel. Stop trying to act like you don't feel anything. Stop trying to shrink yourself down. Letting yourself stand out and be this big personality is like the most fun part of life. It's not that you have to like be this big personality all the time, but if that's what you want, do not hold yourself back. I'm gonna be honest, I am feeling doubt right now that this is gonna resonate with anyone, and I'm feeling doubtful that I made any sense. But I need to not be hard on myself because I know that somebody watching this is like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. It doesn't matter how many people see this video, it's gonna resonate with who it's meant to. Let's do our afterthought. I'm gonna go get it. I'm sweating my literal balls off. A piece of advice. No one, oh my gosh, this is literally what I was just saying. No one is paying attention to what you're doing. Okay, so I also wrote tell the story of how you almost pursued a career you didn't want. Okay, this story is really important to me, so listen up. Buckle up. We told her to buckle up. So basically, my mom is a teacher and also my sister. I was like, okay, since my mom is a teacher, that means I have to be a teacher. And I did not in the slightest want to. Not at all. And I always, whenever people asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I always said a teacher. And that was never true. Not that I have anything against teachers. I love teachers. Like, they are literally the backbone of the world. Okay? Because every career is made possible by teachers. I always said that because I thought people were going to judge me for wanting to do YouTube and wanting to do modeling and all of these like creative things that I've been drawn to since I was like 5. I've always been drawn to this, especially YouTube. Like, I would watch YouTube every single day and I was like, I want to do this so bad. So I was always drawn to that. And I shrunk myself down and I acted like I didn't want it as bad as I truly did because I thought people were going to judge me and be like, that's not even a real career. Like, ugh. And I have worked really hard to reframe my thoughts on that because now if anyone judges me for this, I literally don't care at all because I love doing it and it's something that I really, really want. Something that I've wanted since I was a kid and something that I am destined to fulfill for my younger self. So I don't care if anyone judges me. But yeah, like I said, nobody is paying attention. And if they are, like I said, who cares? They're miserable. So yeah, don't pursue something that you don't want because you're scared, okay? And I don't know if you know the creator, Not Even Emily, but I love her, and she is making a short film about stability versus your passions, and I absolutely love just that whole concept because I could have gone I could be going to school for teaching, which is my nightmare, no offense. Like, that's just not who I am. But instead, I am pursuing what I truly, truly want, and it's already paying off because I'm literally going to a modeling boot camp, and I'm going to be in my first runway show. So, pursue what you want because you don't want to live a life settling for something that you don't want because you chose stability and you chose shrinking yourself down. You chose shrinking your passions for other people over something that you really want. And I chose to go for what I truly want because I don't want to settle for a life that I don't align with. I want to create a life for myself where I feel free and where I feel peaceful. Those are like, every time I think about the future, those are the two words that come up. I journaled about that today, actually, which is freedom and peace. Those are the two things that I want. The two things behind every single desire that I have for my life. So, yeah, that is the episode. I really hope it helped you, and I really hope it resonated. And I make sure that you subscribe because, like, you become super iconic when you do. Like, I don't know if you knew that. Like the video, follow me on TikTok. And probably my next video will be my modeling bootcamp vlog. So, you need to subscribe to see that, okay? Stay iconic. I love you. Bye.